Ever wished to switch between different Blender user preferences and startup files? Then this tip is definitely for you. This is a handy Blender feature called application templates that I often use when switching between my daily preferences and when I need to record specific tutorials where I need to use the default cube scene and no add-ons installed. We have a few examples here under File, New. All these are application templates. This is the one that I created for myself, vanilla Blender, meaning that it has only the factory settings. But for example, we go here to sculpting and we can see that our workspaces are reduced to just 2, sculpting and shading. Let's have a look at a different one. VFX, for example. We have a different scene structure, completely different workspace, and also the default workspaces are not all here. So these are just 2 examples of what we can do. Next, let's have a look at how to create the vanilla Blender application template and run it along with our default preferences. Before we start, I just want to mention that I'm going to leave 2 links in the description below. One is for the application templates documentation, so you can have more information than the one I'm going to share. The other one is Blender's directory layout, where Linux and macOS users will also be able to find the same directories that I'm going to be referring to on this video. With that out of the way, let's move to step 1, which is to back up your user preferences and startup file. For that, on Windows, you need to go to your C drive, Users, User, Application Data, Roaming, Blender Foundation, Blender, in my case is 4.5, and Config folder. Inside that folder, you will find the user prefs and the startup file, and you need to back up these 2 files either to your desktop or any other safe location in your computer before we proceed to the next step. Step 2. Load factory settings, delete the startup file, and restart Blender. Please don't forget to follow step 1 before you move forward. So let's click Ctrl, to bring Blender preferences, and here at the bottom menu, you choose Load Factory Preferences. Once you load the factory preferences, you need to go to your config folder and delete the startup file. Don't worry about it because you have it backed up from the previous step. And Blender will create a new default startup file once you restart Blender. Step 3. Create a folder with a template name that you wish and copy-paste the new startup and user preference files into that same folder. In my case, the folder is called Vanilla Blender because that's the kind of template that I want to create. And then I will copy and paste these 2 files, the Blender startup and the user preferences, into that same folder. Step 4. Create the user templates folder. Create a folder with the same name of our template folder inside that folder and copy paste the user preferences into that folder. For that, we need to go to C, Users, User, App Data, Roaming, Blender Foundation, Blender, 4.5 in my case, Scripts, Startup. Please note that this is a different location. In this location, we need to create a folder named BL_app_templates_user. Please note that all these folders we are creating, they cannot have any spaces. They need to have an underscore. Inside this folder, we will create, in my case, a folder with the exact same name of the folder we created inside the config, which is vanilla_blender. And then we will copy paste the userpref blend file into that folder. The splash file you see there is optional, and it will replace Blender's default splash screen when you directly load that file or from within Blender. We need to have 2 copies of the userpref file because when you make changes to your preferences, those changes will be saved on this file. If you want to revert to your original user preferences, when you created this application template, you just need to come to them and you revert to the original preferences. Okay, so let's have a look into what this does in practice. Currently, I have my default startup and Blender preferences. And if I want to then to load my vanilla Blender, I just load it, and here this is the original Blender's startup file, as if I don't have any add-on installed. If I want to check the splash screen, this is the splash screen that you just saw in that folder, and I can revert back to my original settings like such, and very easily I switch back again like this. As you can see, this brings a lot of flexibility and customization into Blender, where you can have multiple app templates to serve your needs. If you found value on this tutorial, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel to support me. Thank you for watching.